looking for here is the precise, the least amount of exercise required. The logical place to start, even if you're skeptical, is with the least amount possible. The logical place to start is not with an arbitrary number like 20, but with the least amount possible. In other words, if one set doesn't work, you can't go any lower to find the least amount necessary. You can't do 0 sets and have a workout. If one set doesn't work, you could always go to 2. But I can save you the time and the headache. I've already worked it out. I've trained over 400 people, closer to 500 people now over the last 4.5 years. One set per exercise and never more than 2 sets per muscle is all that's needed. That's just the way it is. And if you're incredulous, you're skeptical, the reason for that is that you still have operative in your subconscious the childlike logic that more is better. And if more is really better, as they imply, then why not do 200 sets? Why stop at 20? Where did they ever get the number 20 anyway? It's literally arbitrary. Remember, science is an exacting discipline. There's no room for the arbitrary in science.
What's up, family? What's up, Icon family? It's nice to see you guys on this Sunday night. We moved away from Friday, probably for permanent. I am here tonight with my esteemed, my jacked, my masculine co-host, the man himself, Primark Billy. Billy, what's cracking, buddy?
What's up, buddy? Man, that intro gets me every time. It's such a vibe.
Isn't it sick, bud? Daddy,
it's literally me. I'm literally him.
That's
Man,
it.
if I had a great front double bicep, bro, I'm telling you, I'd be a time traveling clone.
It's coming, bud. Are you gonna go with the stash for the show?
Yeah, to my wife's horror and appall, I will absolutely be getting the stash back, bro, in honor of Mike.
Amazing, bud.
Not C-Bum. Every clown gets the stash for C-Bum these days, but we do it for the real OGs.
That's right, buddy. That's right. Are you gonna go with the aluminum rim glasses for backstage and stuff?
Goodness. I wear contacts. I should have me I should make me some prescription glasses like that. That would be dank.
Yeah. Just go buy a pair and leave on the contacts, bud.
Yeah.
Oh,
cheap
yeah,
pair. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a cheap pair of shades, man.
That's it, bud. You're gonna emulate Mike. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be beautiful. You'll find that front double by, bud. You just gotta learn to pose like Mike. You can do it. You're an athlete.
Yeah, well, I work on it. I'm getting the shoulder loosened up, man. Once my shoulder is set back in place, it's gonna unlock all those poses, and they're gonna really hit. I think I'm gonna take Mike's lead too, and I'll try to bully the other people backstage.
Yeah. Shove them, fight them
in the right way.
Yeah,
for the right reasons.
Mog them intellectually.
Yeah,
and physically, and spiritually.
Spiritually, always.
Hell yeah, bud. So, how was your week, man? How was your week of lifting? How did it go for you?
Same as it always does, bro. I beat all my lifts. I mean,
savagely.
It's part of the course for what we do here, man. I crush it every time I walk in, man, and I leave happy.
I love it.
As simple as that.
I love it. I was back on the job, rocking some concrete and freezing my little sack off, and because of that, I missed my lifts. I didn't get my workouts in this week. I failed, and I feel shame.
Well, you should. You should. You don't have to do that much.
No, I was dead, bro. It was crazy. Like, I'm just
working concretes. You got to get adjusted. You got to get back adjusted to the work, man.
Yeah, it took me a little bit there. It was cold, bro. Like, oh my god, like you guys are in Fahrenheit down there. So how? Oh yeah, I did the math. It was minus 13 for 3 days this week, Fahrenheit.
Oh my god, you guys must have to put some more catalyst in your concrete, huh, to keep it hotter for longer.
Well, no, it goes fast. That's the thing. You got to move fast. But we didn't do any pouring. There is a little bit more catalyst, most likely. But we were just stripping a giant form. But the metal panels and stuff, bro, they're like frozen, right? So your hands just freeze. And then we loaded the truck, and oh my god, the whole thing was just wild, bro.
Well, it
So
was like 80 degrees in Louisiana. I had my shirt off at work.
That hurts me. That hurts my soul.
Some sun, bro.
It makes me want to cry. But I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. You deserve it. You're a hardworking man. You know. We got some stuff for the family this week. We got stuff for our icons out there. You know, the army of icons. We got some good stuff. I can't see chat today. I'm not in my usual location streaming, so you guys don't get to see my beautiful face either, unfortunately. Billy, you don't have the cam on either, so they can't see us on tonight's stream, unfortunately.
Well, if you're not, I'm not. You know.
Okay. Well,
they get to enjoy that beautiful stage shot of me. I mean, I'm actually enjoying that stage shot myself as I look at the screen. Deus Malleus, what's up, bro?
Heck yeah. Good to see everybody. If you want to interact with the chat for us, Bill, if you see it, man, that'd be great, because I can't.
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
Awesome. And feel free to interrupt me with anything our homies say. I got Alexander the Great up in my profile pic, because we're reinstating the foundations of Western civilization here, brother. You know what I'm saying?
It's time to go forth and conquer.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. So speaking of which, I think, you know, we're thinking about the order of how we're going to roll things out for the show, and we talked about the mutant Tom Haviland in our Physique Friday episode this week, and I just felt the need to show Tom Haviland. So we got a nice little video here from a guy called Josh Bryant on Tom Haviland, where he says some stuff, and I figured we'd just watch it and live react and chat a little bit about this mutant and what he has to say, because I don't know what he's going to say. So whether or not it lines up with what we think can do so far, what I've seen from him and heard from him lines up pretty nicely. You know, and a lot of our guys, our clients, like, you know, we have a lot of people doing home workouts and stuff like that, right? With home gyms, and got a lot of homestead guys in and around us. So, in the chats and around us. So, you know, this is good stuff for them to see. So, you know,
yeah, everyone could benefit from seeing this, man.
Absolutely.
Like, this is something you could watch more of.
100%.
To the home workout thing, man. Yeah, we do have a lot of guys doing the home programs. And I was just going to say that people with this caliber physique and this caliber of strength, they're always going to have a lot in common with what we're teaching. Because all of those people understand that you have to train intensely. You have to give it your all, day in and day out.
That's right. It's just how it is. You don't get to be 6'8" and 385 without jacking up your intensity through the roof. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And we're pretty adept at our programming. So, like, you know, for anybody that needs, you know, changes, needs it to be adapted to, you know, whatever they're trying to do, it's very versatile. It happens a lot in the gym with machines and all of this stuff, but it can be adapted for any environment, really. You just got to be willing to put in the work. So it's never going to be irrelevant to watch a guy like Tom Haviland.
Absolutely. Oh, man, look, A. Scott Bro is well on his way to his Tom Haviland physique. He said he just cooked up some steaks after the gym. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So in that stage shot, actually, the 6 weeks leading up to that show, I was having a New York strip every night.
Savage.
And particularly after I trained. So you're well on your way, bro. That's how you do it.
Scott Bro is a friggin' genius. For his endocrinology knowledge, we're going to have him on. Scott's going to come on. Either on Physique Friday.
I was thinking that earlier today as I saw him speaking eloquently in the heavy duty chat. He knows his stuff.
My guy
I say it in much more grug terms, and he just opens it all up, and I love that.
The guy is absolutely brilliant. Like, he blows me away. You know, we've had him on. I've had him on Fashcroft and stuff. And to be honest, man, I mentioned in the Physique Friday episode my issue that I have with empty cellar syndrome, having my coconut getting knocked around too many times and low T and shit like that. So he's the person that, like, I knew that I had this issue, right? Like, but it wasn't never really properly diagnosed. I just knew because I knew physically, I know my body and stuff like that. And I did have my T ran, you know, so I knew my levels were quite low. But Ascot Bro is the one, credit to him, that pointed out empty cella, talked to me about what the symptoms are and what the experience is like dealing with it. And it was literally like, it was crazy. Like listening to him talk when we were chatting was like, he was like, just like giving me back my own experience, you know. And it's a tough road, man, because you're kind of like, you're not yourself, right? Like at all. You're, for lack of, you know, wanting to get into it too deeply, you're kind of a fucking mental case, you know, like with like dealing with that kind of stuff. You're low T is just, it's an affliction, and it affects everybody around you, affects all your relationships and stuff like that. So it's very not cool. And yeah, so I got to just give him a big shout out and a big piece of credit there for helping me out, turning me on to that. I'm going to be able to get my stuff addressed, hopefully in short order, get my blood work done again, and, you know, stay off the Fagos.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, stay off the corn syrup. Stay off the corn syrup. That'll help you out. But yeah, man, the low T in conjunction with the chronic concussions done to your head and brain over years, that's got to be a mess, man. I couldn't imagine.
It's crazy, dude. And I got it, like it in the study. So it's not well studied. And in the piece of, we'll do this when he comes on, because I think it's really important. I in the study that identifies like what it is and kind of connects what empty cellar syndrome is, because there's different ways you can get it. It's not always by like head trauma, but the long-term study that tied the head trauma to empty cellar, it wasn't a super large cohort or anything, but it really shows that it doesn't take a lot. You don't actually need to get like rocked in your dome like a hockey player or a football player might, or a fighter, repeatedly. It can be like one shot that you take that you don't even know. Often the people in this study were having their spouses or their loved ones kind of point out, hey, do you, like, they didn't even remember taking the shot to the head that caused it themselves. And because concussions can happen like that, right? You get knocked out, you take a shot to the head, you don't remember. Even if you don't get knocked out, sometimes you don't remember. And so I really do believe it's epidemic. I believe a lot of our guys are dealing with it, and I think that a lot of the low T stuff that we see is a result of it, on top of the other causes like low activity levels and all that stuff. But anyhow,
compounded together with it.
Yeah,
it's
compounds.
Intense, man.
Yeah, dude, I think a lot of guys are dealing with this. You know, I got some of our good friends. Like I was talking to one of our good friends, and he fought Muay Thai, you know, and he rode bulls and stuff. Guy's an absolute savage, right? And you know, one of these cats who's like, you know, most interesting man in the world's done everything, you know. Yeah, well, I'll just shout out Verbo, right? You know, Verbo Tempestus, one of our one of our best friends. My guy Verbo, I wouldn't be here without him. And so, you know, he was saying it like, you know, like he's taking shots to the head, man. So, you know, like I'm trying to tell him, go get your tea, and I think everybody should. You know, my clients, I'm not doing it at the moment, but I used to work with a doctor with my clients, and send them for like full blood work as soon as they start, because it's the best way to track your stuff. You know, if you really want to know you're healthy, go get your blood work tracked. So anyways,
as a competitive bodybuilder, it's very important to know where you're at, man. You got to keep all that stuff in line.
That's it. And then this dude, Tom Haviland, has a trainer, and one of the crazy things that he does is he's like really, really dialed in to his blood work, his nutrition. It's all like meant to be maxed out for him. Like, he does it full time, basically. It's like a project he's on where he's trying to like just become like a superhuman. And so let's pull up the video and watch what he does. This giant mutant of a savage.
Welcome to the new installment of Operation Tactical Hypertrophy. I'm your host, Tom, standing in for the legend Josh Bryant, who's currently with David Icke in an undisclosed location, going over all the dark and twisted conspiracies of the world. Can't wait to hear your thoughts when you get back, Josh. Okay, in this episode, I'm going to go over my current nutrition plan that is providing 8,000 calories. I've been following this plan for just over a week, and it's taken me from 322 pounds to 327 pounds in that time. I prefer to train early in the morning with as much of an empty stomach as possible, so my first meal is designed to be small and mostly liquid to help accommodate that. Meal 1 consists of 2 bananas, 30 grams of dates, 50 grams of honey, and 2 shots of espresso coffee with 300 mils of full cream milk, all blended
High
together.
carb, guys.
Along with this, I
carb
also have 4
Sugar.
eggs eaten separately. This meal provides 1,040 calories, 43 grams of protein, 137 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat.
Pause it right quick.
The next
Let's
meal
open that up. Okay, rewind it a little bit. Let him go through it again without my interruption. I want to catch the rest of it after the carbs.
Along with this, I also have 4 poached eggs eaten separately. This meal provides 1,040 calories, 43 grams of protein, 137 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat. The next meal gives me the overall bulk of my calories.
Right, stop right there.
And
just wanted to, I want the guys to understand that sugars are not your enemy. This guy's eating dates. What all did he say? I just caught there's a bunch of carbs at the beginning.
Honey, dates. I did miss some of it too.
Yeah, he started it back off at the eggs.
All blended together.
I wanted to emphasize that the meal's not that large.
Also have 4 poached eggs eaten separately with as much of an empty stomach as possible. So my first meal is designed to be small.
Come on, sound guy, you just started off the same spot again. Get it together.
Meal 1 consists of 2 bananas, 30 grams of dates, 50 grams of honey, and 2 shots of espresso coffee with 300 mils of full cream milk.
2 bananas, 30 grams of dates.
Full cream milk.
Full cream milk.
He's getting 1,000 calories, and then after that he has 4 poached eggs. So if you think about it, this is not a huge meal.
No,
but it's super calorically dense, and there is a bunch of sugar in it, right? Whether that be the the lactose from the milk and the dates, which are practically just pure sugar. The bananas, you got a medium, slower acting carb in there, and then just straight fructose. And then 4 poached eggs after. It's like so many calories in such a small meal. And he says he wants to train on it like 1,000 calories before he trains, and he wants to train on the emptiest stomach as possible. Like, put that into perspective, the level of athlete this man is.
Yeah, most of our guys, like, would have trouble getting just a regular meal with that amount of calories. Most meals you're going to find, like, the average dude throws down is going to be somewhere 600, 700, 800.
Right. That's what my meals end up about.
Yeah.
I eat meals, and it's hard to eat them.
Yeah, I don't eat well, like right now, especially. I don't have the resources, not necessarily financial, but anyways, whatever about my living situation. But I crush a lot of calories when I do eat. Sorry to pill. I do crush a lot of calories when I do eat. I'll eat 2-3 times a day, and I'm trying to get to 4,000. So it's like I'm eating, boy, and I don't care about what I'm putting in my body. I'm just trying to get to the calories, but it's like, pushing that 1,000 calorie threshold every time is kind of the goal for me to be able to keep my size on, especially when I'm I'm working concrete and lifting at the same time. Like it's eating is like, it's brutal, bro. Like, so, you know this. So, you know, if you're trying to grow and you've already lost the fat you need to lose, trying to push that 1,000-calorie threshold is a good call. And this meal is like anybody's got a notepad beside them, take that down. Maybe you can drop the link to this video in the chat for the folks so that they can refer back to it. Sorry, Bill.
Oh, well, let's see. I kind of forgot my train of thought there, but basically the thing was this, you know, my 800-calorie meal is a huge pile of rice, meat, and oil. This dude's getting 1,000 in by utilizing a bunch of really easy eating fruit and the cream, you know, the whole milk, the raw milk. It's like you can get a shitload of calories in easy, but you need to be able to burn them. You know, you need to be able to burn those off. Sugar is not your enemy. It can actually be great if put in the right context. So it's all contextual. Like, if you want to be big as fuck, you got to figure this stuff out. You got to eat. And it's never fun. It's the hardest part of the job.
There's no question there. People have seen videos of Jay Cutler. Remember the FST7 video where you see him and he's just his trainer's just yelling at him. He doesn't want to eat anymore and he's like crying about it. The guy's just fucking dressing him down, you know, like while he's eating. Like literally like what you would do to a guy in a set, you know, to keep him going through like to failure. You know, he's in his grill in his ear trying to force him to eat, you know. So it's if you want to put on that size, boy, if you're 6'7", 6'8", and you want to get yourself close to 4 bills, man, it's a tall order.
Yeah.
Let's keep going with this here. This is crazy. This guy's nuts.
This meal provides 1,040 calories, 43 grams of protein, 137 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat. The next meal gives me the overall bulk of my calories and is prepared all together in a slow cooker to make 5 of my meals all at once. These meals are made up of, and these are all raw weights, 850 grams of white rice, 600 grams of sweet potato, 100 grams of lentils, 500 grams of broccoli, 100 grams of carrots. Once this is cooked, I add 160 grams of cooked weight ground beef to each of these 5 meals, which equals 800 grams of beef in total. I have played around with many different types of foods and combinations of foods over the years in an attempt to make the process of eating such a high volume as easy as possible. The foods I just listed are what I have found to be the best for me digestively and also very simple to prepare.
Super important.
As I increase my calories further in this process, I will lessen the amount of fiber through the broccoli and lentils and replace with less filling options such as more rice, cereal, sorbet, and other simple carbohydrate sources. These 5 meals provide me with 5,865 calories, 315 grams of protein, 920 grams of carbohydrates, and 74 grams of fat. Meal
Check that
number
out,
6
guys.
is my final meal of the day and is consumed about
Low
an hour before I
protein,
go to bed. This
comparatively.
meal is blended up all together and makes about 1.2 liters of liquid and takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to consume. It consists of 300 mils of full cream milk, 200 grams of cereal, and 200 grams of blueberries. It provides 1,120 calories, 22 grams of protein, 206 grams of carbohydrates,
206, bro.
22 grams of fat. Okay,
Super
so now
high
that's
carb.
out of the way. Basically,
Super
the
high
plan
carb.
of attack
Let's
nutrition
pause and
here
unpack
will be to
that.
keep the bulk of this
Yeah,
plan
if
roughly
you
the
don't
same.
mind, Primo Minister Justin Trendo, if we can, we'll just pause it for a second, but I'd like to run that back too and hear that again. Billy, go ahead. Do your unpacking.
This flies in the face of so many people who have their hot takes on nutrition. You know, they hate the idea of high carbs. You know, it should be fats and protein, et cetera, and just drawn out. You know, the sugar, the carbs are bad for you. Carbs are bad. Look at this absolute freaking animal. Look at this beast of a man. He's eating 3 times the amount of carbs as he is protein. His protein is comparatively low for his body weight, for his size, for the amount of calories he's getting in. I consume more protein than he does in a day.
Sure sounds like it. 22. What's that ratio, dude? 22 to 206, and then 20 grams of fat. That's all carbs, dude. Like it's you're talking about something like 80% of that meal more is carbs.
Justin, check the info on this YouTube video and see if he has the macros listed out. Does he have the macros listed out, or is it in the comments maybe, just so we could have it quick and easy? But simply in his slow cooker meal, where he prepares all those meals together, he's got 800 grams of white rice, uncooked, which that's 4 cups of uncooked rice, which would transform into like fucking 12 cups of cooked rice. Dude. At 60 grams a cup. And then that's not even going into the sweet potatoes and the lentils he has in there. You know, and comparatively, he puts 160 grams of cooked ground beef in each one of those 5 meals. So that cooked ground beef is only, I think that's like 30 to 40 grams of protein in each one of those. And he's probably eating 120 to 140 carbs each meal. Carbs are not your enemy, guys. If you want to fuel these intense training sessions, if you want to keep your muscles full, primed, ready to perform, easily recovered, you don't want to spend all your body's biological processes converting fats and excess protein into sugars to then fill up your glycogen stores. That's the common theme with these people and these fad diets, or their hot takes, is that, well, my body can make its own glucose. Why would I want my body to make its own glucose when I could just digest some glucose? Why would I want to bog down my system and bog down my liver converting all this stuff? It's inefficient, guys. The body has limited biological capacity. You know, it can only expend this much energy and resources in all these different areas at one time. Why shortchange yourself and use this very valuable energy in a direction that's unnecessary?
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, you're ultimately over time compromising your ability to manage the carbohydrate, right? And so, like, a lot of people do need to develop more insulin sensitivity, right? And so, because they tend to be resistant. If you're overweight, it's good to maybe at a certain point remove the carbs and use your stores, because you're fat. You have too many stores. But once it comes to you having lost that weight and you're in a position where you're trying to grow again, right? The insulin sensitivity needs to come externally, right? So you need to put those carbohydrates into your system to sensitize yourself, to teach your body to use them. You need to be full, right? Have full muscles ready for performance, so that, yeah, like as you say, you're not putting yourself through that metabolic tax, right? You're taxing your metabolism if you're forcing yourself to convert like whatever's available that didn't come externally into the energy you use for your lifts. This is not the best way to get big. This is not the best way to be aesthetic, right? Look at this guy. This guy is shredded and jacked at 6'8". It's ridiculous. It's out of control.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable. So yeah, that hot take thing, that whole, like, you know, keto scene or whatever it is, like, there's a time and a place, but the application of it is way more limited than people think it's the holy grail. It's just so far from it.
It's not. It's no. And I talked to a client about this. We had a consultation call on Friday, and really cool kid. Love this kid already. He's going to do great. And he's very open-minded. And he was drawn in, you know, by these people preaching these kind of diets. because it's counterculture, right?
Yeah.
And our culture is pretty effed up. So when something's contrarian, we give it ear, right? Because
Mhm.
everything else is also messed up. And I was explaining to him basically what we're talking about. You know, how carbohydrates are not the enemy, how they're extremely useful. And I told him this. I said, look at the top performing athletes in the world in whatever field you choose. You know, these guys eat carbohydrates. They are not scared of them. If you want to be the biggest, strongest guy you can be, you need to utilize this. It's not your enemy. High fructose corn syrup is the enemy. Vegetable oils are the enemy,
Mhm.
not starchy carbs. If you're
You
fat,
couldn't be more
you
right,
need
man.
to address that. You know, and that's the thing. Yeah, if you're overweight and you're fat, you got to address that first. You know,
Yep.
that is your primary concern. Work out and train, and you're going to grow muscle tissue. That's metabolic tissue. That's going to help you. Um, you know, that's going to help you burn more fat in the long run. But your primary concern is getting unfat. It's not becoming Tom Haviland. You got to get unfat first.
Yep.
And once you're
Yeah.
unfat, then you can start utilizing these tools.
Bottom line, and so what you get is you get like remember what was the website that geez now I'm not gonna remember. It got banned. It got banned from like the whole internet. Natural News. Right? Remember Natural News? So there's like this whole mainstream, like the food pyramid. Nobody likes the government issued food pyramid, right? All the
Yeah.
dissidents in the world are going to trip out if you say like, oh, government food pyramid, right? So as a reaction to that, right? Like we're not reactionaryism being bad, right? You get this like sort of like alt food thing going on, right? You
Yeah.
get this like,
We got to flip the food pyramid upside down.
yeah, it's the third
So
position response,
fats and
right? Yeah,
oils, yeah, and it's a natural response. I mean, I understand it. I get it. I get why people go there.
yeah, yeah. I said it's a third position response, but what I'm saying is that like you get all these extreme reactions. Yeah, I totally get it too, right? Like you get these extreme reactions to the mainstream, and then what you get is this two-sided, sandwich. I'll leave out the first word in that, but this is always what we see. And so that the alternative, sort of nutrition health stream can be just as damaging and just as negative as the mainstream one, right? Things like orthorexia come from the idea that you have to like this new emergent eating disorder with the notion that you have to only eat things that are healthy, like healthy in quotation marks. Like what even is healthy, right? Is eating as much sugar as Tom Haviland eats healthy? Like in that context, maybe somebody's going to say no, right? But so it's like it's one of those things that becomes like abstract. Like you're trying to now your subjective definition of healthy becomes the thing you chase, and then you become obsessed with this. So it's about being objective, as our mentor, our spiritual guide, our guru, like Mentzer always talks about, right? You have to be objective. And so between those two edges that get produced, you need to have a third position response, right? You have to take a third position, step outside of the sandwich and apply objective truth to your choices, right? Step away from yourself, your own biases, and do what works for the situation. If you're fat, lose the fat. If you need to grow muscle, check out what Tom's about to tell us.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all goal dependent.
Yeah.
People talk about, well, the healthiest options possible. Okay, well, if you want to be the healthiest possible, you're going to be very lightweight, very lean. You're not going to carry a bunch of extra metabolic tissue. I could go on and on and on if you wanted to try to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's its own thing, and that's its own obsession. People are obsessed with that. Um, it's all goal dependent, guys. If you want to be the quote unquote healthiest, you're go live in your little cave and do your intermittent fasting or your 1 meal a day and endlessly fret over every bit of minutia in your life. or you can set some goals. You could take a path like we're taking, become bigger and stronger, be aesthetic, be a hero in your town, be a hero to your kids, enjoy life, challenge yourself, eat the fucking carbs, get big, have fun. As long as you avoid, some of the pitfalls like the seed oils and the fructose corn syrup, you're going to do okay. Keep your blood pressure in check, guys. You're healthy.
Yep. Yeah. And a lot of people are talking about, well, what are you going to do when there's no resources? What are you going to do when the supply chains collapse? Right? The supply chains are going to collapse. What are you going to do? Well, like, if you're already skinny, bro, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. So like you need to have your gains. Like while we have our supply chains intact, right? Go get your gains. Don't worry about these types of things. This is neurotic, right? It's neurotic. It's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to be
exactly
neurotic.
What they want.
You know what I mean?
They want you to be neurotic. They want you to be afraid. They want you to hate yourself. They want you to. We could go on and on and on.
Yeah. We don't need to do that. But when you see a guy like Tom Haviland, when you see a guy like Mike Mentzer, when you see guys having crazy gains, achieving crazy things physically, right? They're not neurotic, and if they are, they're neurotic about the thing, the context, like within the specific context, like maybe you could say Tom Haviland is neurotic about the way he constructs a meal, because he's like, as he said in the video, he's gone through a lot of years of trial and error, what works for my digestion, what feels good, right? But you don't really get to that if you can't take a step back, because as we all know, you can create your own your own little hell, right? Your own little like if you have, for example, like IBD, irritable bowel, right? The causes of this haven't really been determined. Right. And so, like, if you're trying to solve a problem like that for yourself, you have to realize it is the same way that chronic undiagnosed pain can be is a product of your mentality a lot of the time. Right. There can be structural roots of it, but once the structural roots are no longer present, then it's like you have a sensitization. So you have perhaps a sensitization in your digestion, in the way that you approach food. It's too neurotic. It's not open to the type of growth that you need to achieve to have those gains, to achieve the aesthetic, to achieve the strength. You need to be resilient. So this is the main goal. This is what I try and focus on with guys. It's like, if the whole world falls apart and you have to eat garbage, right? Like literal garbage out of the garbage, like whatever you find, right? If you have to forage and stuff, you have to not be neurotic. You have to have a resilient mindset. This is what we're trying to build and encourage. Not to be too doomer. The world's not ending, folks. Go get your gains.
They also don't want the supply chains to collapse and the world to end. They want to maintain control. The easiest way for them to lose control is if everything collapsed.
Right. Yeah.
Put that in perspective, guys. They really don't want this whole thing to end. They want it to go downhill really slowly, where they maintain more and more control. They don't want their populace out in the street with guns foraging for food.
No. They need labor. They need your labor. Right. Yes. And so they will run through you as a laborer. They'll take your labor, they'll run through it. So it's your job to be resilient and to be able to tolerate your work life, balance it with your home life and your time in the gym, so that you can not be neurotic and be solar, be the type of person that's going to influence the people around you to settle down. Like a man is stable, right? A man is a pillar of stability for his woman, for his children, and for his community, right? So somebody that's really consistent, really, the cult of discipline.
I'm going to get biblical again.
Yeah,
what
please.
What were all the names and titles for the Lord in the Psalms? He's a strong tower. He's a bulwark. He's a shield. He's a rock. He is an immovable thing that is power. It's powerful. It's strong. It's immovable. It's unyielding. It's steadfast. It protects. It defends. It's unbreakable. That's a man. And we are called to be like God. In that sense, that's what we should be to the people around us. And you're not going to be that if you're tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine and you are double-minded and neurotic.
Amen. Amen. Look at this beast of a man that we're about to watch continue in this video, right? You can't achieve this if you're in that mindset. Bottom line. Here we go.
No.
Then any subsequent caloric increases are going to come from carbohydrate sources. So there's things I listed before, such as the rice, cereal, sorbet, my favorite, the bagel, even things like rice crackers, foods that are low in fiber, easy to digest, usually pretty tasty and easy to eat. There's no need for me to increase my protein from here, and my fat levels at a good level. So all my extra calories are going to come from carbohydrates in the future. Just quickly, a massive thank you to everybody watching. Your support means a lot to me and is very appreciated. We're just getting started here, so please get in touch with any questions you have or any things you'd like covered in the videos. You can comment here or get in touch with me directly on Instagram, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you to Levi Phillips, and the biggest thank you to the best coach in the game, the people's champion, Josh Bryant.
Hell yeah. So I think what we're gathering from that maybe is that Josh is actually coaching Tom, which is crazy. Josh Bryant's a crazy dude. You guys should all follow his stuff. Very strong guy, very good trainer. And if you notice, Bill, at the end of that, what did he say? He sounded like a lot like Daddy Mike. He said, you know what he said. He said he's getting all of his extra calories from carbohydrate.
And he wants them to taste good. And he wants them to be easy to digest. He doesn't want them to have fiber. He doesn't want them to put any extra burden on himself. He just wants more glycogen and energy. That is exactly what Mike taught.
That's
Mike
right.
taught that, if your primary goal is to be muscle oriented, muscles are made up of water and sugar. That's what fills them up. That's what lets them perform. And not only that, it's about balance. You want a balanced diet. You want an enjoyable diet. You want a diet that you can sustain. You want one that you can do day in and day out. And that's why we at Nova Signum as coaches, we set up our guys' plans with the foods that they digest best. We try to figure it out for you. We'll walk through that process and get that in order for you guys. We want you to be able to digest your food. We want you to enjoy your food. We want you to be able to repeat it day in and day out. Because if you can't sustain it, you will not have success.
This is the bottom line. So in the app, a very cool thing that we have is you can actually put in, if you're weighing your food, you can put in the grams of food and it's going to convert it to the calories. So this is a super nice tool because then you don't actually have to worry about your macros, right? In that context, you just weigh it out and plug it in, and it's going to convert it out for you. So a great way to track. App is super useful. It's our bread and butter. So if you guys want help, come see us. You know what I mean? We can get it done for you. One thing I want to point out too is this is a live react. We didn't know he was going to say that.
Yeah, right? I didn't. I'd never seen the video.
Yeah, I'd never seen it either.
I've never seen that video.
I hadn't seen it before either. Yeah.
Am I surprised by anything he said? Absolutely not, guys.
No.
This is part of the course. Forget about the loudest voice in your group chat. Forget about the fringe guy on social media or Twitter.
Yeah, bottom line. It's
Follow
nonsense.
The leaders, man.
Yeah, go look at the biggest, best physiques, the biggest, strongest dudes. They're all doing the same stuff. Yes. Right, and they might the grifters are going to preach something different, and they're going to go home and do that good stuff. You understand? It's not everybody is shooting you straight, and you got to be able to discern. And if you want to learn how to discern, that's one of the main services that Billy and I and our bros and the Life Panel at Physique Friday, and over here at the IconoCast, that's what we're trying to do for you, is teach you how to discern. Right, because once you get that discernment down, then you're gonna have a lot easier time navigating things. So we're gonna shoot you straight to the best of our ability every single time. So you can trust that the source is a trustworthy source, because we want the best for you guys, man. Bottom line.
Absolutely. Bottom line, we want the best for you. We love you guys, and we want to see big changes in the world with our people. Your best interest is our best interest, guys. We're doing everything we do out of love. We want to give you the best information possible. We want you to have security in your mind with everything you do. That's like why when I do a consultation call with a client, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about our plan moving forward for an hour. I'm going to make sure you have security in understanding in the steps we're about to take. You can know for certain that you're in the right place and that what you're doing is going to work.
Bottom line, man. It's where you're gonna get the realist approach. We want everybody to be icons. We call it a IconoCast. There's iconoclasty was an attack on the icons. At a time that was revolutionary. It's not the revolution. It wasn't the term wasn't founded in the type of revolution we like. But anyways, the notion is to tear down the icons, right, that previously exist, that are telling you the untruths, right, the lies, and to build up the people into the icons themselves ultimately, right? So get you the right info and build you up. See everybody become that thing, that version of themselves that they're seeking out, right? When you close your eyes, you see something for yourself. You have a vision for yourself, the best version of yourself, the biggest, the strongest, the most stable, the most influential. And that's what you need to go and chase, right? Resilience is the biggest part of that. Objective truth is the biggest part of that. So it's a path, and I'm glad that you went and referred to the Bible earlier, man, because, there's reasons these things are what's the right word? They're all time, they're eternal, right? They're just eternal truths.
Yeah. Yeah. In the future, they'll be true. In the past, they were true. And in the present, they are true.
Oh, yes.
They are true in all places and all times, forever.
So, Bill, let's transition a little bit. You wanted to talk a little bit about some of the hit stuff. We were talking in chat, and I got some stuff that's going to build off of that. But you take it away. What did you want to address? Some of the stuff you're seeing with your clients and their development and stuff.
Yeah, it's just something I've been picking up on, and it's come to light more and more after I said it one time. It's kind of funny. You have a conversation or an interaction, and something that you were previously aware of but never had to address, and then you say it, and then it just becomes ever more apparent, and you're noticing it in other people. Training intensity, okay, like pushing to absolute failure. Being able to use your mind to override your body and take your body to a place it's never been before. It is an acquired skill, guys. For a new fella who's new to hit, you're not going to be able to go as hard in your sets as I do. But at the same time, your failure is still a place you've never taken your body before. So you will still get the job done and progress at your own mental level, at that place that you were at with the skill set. Okay. So for instance, I shared some information in a group chat with a random guy who was asking me questions, and he showed me his program, and I told him what I thought about it. And I told him some insane things like you should only do one set because you won't be able to replicate anything if you go really hard. And I said, you know what? Why don't you do 2 sets? I guarantee you that in a few weeks, you'll only be able to do 1. You're going to reduce yourself. 2 weeks later, he messages me and he goes, man, I tried to do my second set yesterday and I was only able to get 2 reps. And it just clicked. I was like, yeah, man, it's an acquired skill. You've got it now. Now you understand how to really push hard. I just thought that was, it's just enlightening, something I was always aware of. But yeah, it's a skill set, but to watch it happen in real time. and
Yeah,
to see other people realize it.
yes, dude. It's funny because it's mirroring my experience with my own clients, right? Like, and I just want to say this again before I continue on what I was going to say, because similar to the live stream with Tom, I didn't even like know exactly what you're going to say. We do prep similar to my show with John. You know, we do prep for like 2 seconds. You know, Billy and I
We
know each
talk while
other.
Billy blends up his berries and liver and orange juice.
Yeah, you know, like Billy and I know each other very well in the sense that we're going to be able to predict a lot of what each other's going to say. You know, like he'll give me a phrase here or there, and I know where he's going to go with it. So it's so funny to hear you say that, because my guys in their first like 2-3 weeks on hit, they're trying to figure out like where they're at even with their weights per, like, for exercise to exercise, you know, so they have to go and select weights for themselves. And you know, their previous programs with like 4 sets of 10 or 4 sets of 8 or 4 sets of 12 or whatever, right? They're going to give them a point of reference, but to like bridge the gap between what, like 36 reps or whatever it is, 48 reps, right, of that previously challenging weight is going to provide versus like 1 set to fail, right? This is a totally different paradigm now for these guys selecting their weights. And so sometimes they're going to overestimate, but it's funny, when you overestimate, you're going to get closer to that 6 to 10 rep range. When you underestimate, you're going to end up doing like 15, 20, 25 reps, 35 reps, not
Yeah.
even failing, right?
Not,
and it's like,
yeah.
yeah. So like what we're seeing is I got to get guys going for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And these guys are like trained guys that have like 5, 6, 8 years under their belt of lifting weights.
They're not
Right?
noobs.
No, they're not noobs.
This is a new skill. This is a new paradigm. This is an entirely new skill set that you are building. I call it the acclimation period.
Mm-hmm.
What you exactly just described. And I tell all my guys starting off, there is going to be an acclimation period. You are going to find out where these chips fall. You know, to fall and fail in that 6 to 10 rep range, it's going to take a little bit. You may overshoot. That's okay. Don't repeat the set. Just go to failure. If you overshoot, that's okay. Next time you come in, you have that information to work off of. Get those reps down and fail in that area. Yeah, it's all acclimation. It's learning. You're learning.
You're learning. Yes, bro. And your body, you grow, you get stronger in the learning process. It's crazy to watch. Guys are loving it. They're getting in, crushing weights. You know, and I tell guys, just like, if you chose the wrong weight, just keep going. You know what I mean? Yeah. And note it. Or quit the set, go get the weight you know is going to make you fail based off of that 12, 15, 20 reps you just got out, and go fail. And then adjust for next time, right? Because that weight that's going to make you fail, you just rocked 15, 20 reps of a sissy goblet squat or something like that, right? You know, so guys, guys are starting with 45-pound dumbbells sometimes, right? 50, 60, 70-pound dumbbells, right? And then maybe it's the 100-pound dumbbell that makes you fail at 6 to 10, right? But you don't know that until you start to get the weight on you, get through the movement pattern, like acclimatize yourself to what's actually happening, right? So this is a complete new learning curve. It's a new paradigm. It's a new way to think and approach your training, like, entirely. So if you're neurotic, right, you're going to get pulled back into your old ways. You're going to say, this doesn't make sense. I'm all confused. This is why you need a coach, ultimately, for this type of method, because you need to be guided along the process, the initial process. And then once you get there, right, once you feel like what Billy goes through when he trains, what I go through when I train, you're going to start to need the push. There becomes new issues, different issues coming up, right? So, and then a lot of that is about, when do I go back and train? How hard do I train? You know, like, what's happening in between? Should I take a day off? Should I not take a day off? Ultimately, like I'm not even trying to keep my clients, and that's the truth. Like, I want you with me for 6 months to a year. Like, if you love us, like, stay forever. But The idea is you learn this skill, you learn how to manage it yourself, and you get down to the tier of our service that allows you just to use the programming, right? And then when you have a problem, you can hit your coach up, right? But you don't need to call every week. You don't need to call maybe every 2 weeks at that point. But in the initial stages, you do, because you're going to be all over the place, thinking, falling back into previous biases, all that kind of stuff. So,
The
having a
primary
coach.
job.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The primary job of the coach is to, especially at these beginning stages, is to break you of your neuroticism.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to break you of your neurotic nature. The reason I give you everything you need to do and the way you should eat is so that you don't have to think about it. You don't get the opportunity to sabotage yourself. That's where it's really beneficial, because I could send you to listen to the tapes, and I do. I send all you guys to listen to the tapes, listen to the seminars, engulf yourself in the theory, but you will still have all those voices of your past in your mind, conflicting with everything you just heard. You need an authority figure, for lack of a better word, on the matter to stop you from doing that, to give you the information in a structured, detailed manner so that you can execute a plan and not think about it.
That's right. Initially, it's to gain your buy-in. You have to believe that you're going to get what you want out on the back end of this. And once you start to try it and do it, you see it. But the getting over that, like crossing that chasm away from vol cell, existence, you need a helping hand. You need somebody who's been there. And then once you get that buy-in and you get the experience and you start to build it up and you have the gains, you drop the fat, the muscles grow, your weights come up. That's it.
And then we get to solve the problems that come along the way. Then the real benefits of the coach comes through, because we've been through all the stuff, or we've seen all the issues that are going to come up. We can tell when you need to switch this food over to this one. We can tell when, all right, we got to add more rest. There's more infrequency that's needed, or you need to do this manual therapy. You need to fix this impingement issue that's become apparent. It's these things that we have to overcome. It's my old mentor, John Anderson, used to say, life's always going to throw a stick in your spokes. Something's going to happen, but it's so important. It's so beneficial to have a guy on your team that has the answer for when that happens and can keep you moving forward.
Yeah, get involved, join the network, get involved in the chats, use our expertise, have the conversations with the guys in the chat that are going through it with you, right? It's a culture that we're trying to build because it's a new way to approach this stuff. It's a way and a lot of it is going to be, we're using our vast experience to guide you, but a lot of it is even new for us. It's a groundbreaking thing in terms of what it's going to be like to have a client that started with you 3-4 weeks ago, like as of right now, in 2 years. Where's that guy going to be, right? And what is he going to be doing with his weights and with his time in the gym and all that stuff? So like that whole process is crazy. Like you don't really know, right? You could say we know, and we will always be able to use our experience to guide, but like the best experience that I have as a trainer is watching this stuff. Like it's crazy. It feels new every time. Every time it works as well as we know it works. Like I know it works. I know it works extremely well. But when you watch it work, it's like the first time every time. It's amazing. It's amazing. You get to have that experience as a lifter. It's fabulous.
I have a funny little story kind of relating to that. So I have a guy who's been working with me since I put on the HIIT experiment. Shout out to High Voltage Matt, brother. I love you. So proud of you.
Hey,
so he signed on. He signed on to the HIIT experiment right when I was running the free experiment, getting the data to prove that this is the way. And so he started with me, and I think he was 138 pounds when he started the experiment. And we did the little 8-week experiment, and then he signed on for coaching. And he wasn't one to like super regularly check in. He did what I told him to do. And he didn't really report back much. He would ask questions when he needed answers, and I would just keep adjusting his stuff. And I just did what comes natural to me. All right, I see there's hey, let's put more here. Let's put more here. Let's change this routine to this. And I just kept doing it. Every time he checked in, I'd message him, hey, everything good? Okay, how you feeling? All right, let me change this. And I hadn't been hearing much, so he was on my mind a lot. And I reached out to him, was like, hey man, let's hop on a phone call. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can for you, And I started asking him, I was like, all right, so what are we weighing now? And he tells me, bro, and it just slapped me in the face. This dude put on over 30 pounds since we started working together. Over the course of like 6 months, this dude has put on 30 pounds.
That's crazy, dude. That's
I was
crazy.
just like, wait, what? I was like, oh, okay, we're good. That was just a funny thing, just that's call it, I'd say going through the motions, but just doing what comes natural. And this guy was executing. And then it's like, oh, wow, surprise. He got this dramatic result.
Yeah, if you're dialed like that, that's about what it is. It's about 10 pounds. Like, if you haven't done hit, you're gonna reach a point that your genetics kind of start to, you find that mean body weight, your genetics are gonna start to top you out, but it happens fast on hit. Like it's about 10 pounds per 2 months. Like a pound to 2 pounds of muscle a week is like totally reasonable and achievable. And that's crazy. 30 pounds in 6 months is crazy, man. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. It's wild.
It's wild. It's wild. And then thinking of another guy, I had a client from Finland who wanted to just get in better shape and lose weight and train hit. And he'd send me his logs every week, and I'd look over his logs, and I would just never pay attention to the number at the top, which was his body weight. I would just check his logs, make sure everything was good. I always check on how he was feeling in regards to his eating and stuff. And like, what was it? Anyway, he lost like 30 pounds in the series of, I think it was 3 to 4 months. He's already down 30 pounds. I asked him for some pictures, and I was just like, wait, what? Is this the same freaking person? Like, it was
Amazing.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
it was
dude.
crazy.
Recompositioning is what you're going to experience, right? And that comes down to a lot of the nutrition stuff and stuff. When you start out fat, it's going to be a different path there, but you're going to end up in a nice place, man. Like, that's crazy as well. 30 pounds down is like 30 pounds up, 30 pounds down, two different guys. Like, listen, like the dude that lost the 30 pounds, he looks a hell of a lot better with that 30 pounds off than he would have otherwise too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like if you didn't put on the body, so again, you guys gotta realize, like, similar to what happened with Casey Viator in the Colorado experiment, like, you're getting leaner, so he actually lost more fat than that, right? He didn't just lose the 30 pounds as a body weight that was on that, like, on the numbers, right? He actually gained muscle. So, you're seeing like some like 40, 50 pounds of fat loss with 10, 20 pounds of muscle gain on top of it, right? So,
yeah. And we went from a big old belly, that was distended and inflamed and just a not happy look, to a dramatic change, like a completely different person.
That's so sick. That's so awesome, man. I love hearing that stuff, dude.
And look,
so
guys,
motivating.
You're hearing these rather, I say they're extreme. They're not extreme to the extent, but realize that we all have a different potential. And if you're a guy who's been training hard for 6 or 7 years, don't expect that kind of crazy muscle gain. You've probably put on a shitload of muscle since you ever started training to begin with, but you will definitely see refinements to the quality of your physique, to the quality of your muscle, to hardness, to density, to definition. And that's what I get out of my more experienced guys that sign on. My boy Alpha Charlie, like, just the quality of his lines. There's so much more dense and hard. And everybody gets something good. Like, no matter which way you come at this and where you come from, their returns are awesome. I
Yeah,
talked about it on the show
absolutely.
for
It takes those
myself.
beginners. Sorry, it takes those beginners to intermediate, from beginner to intermediate, intermediate to advanced in matters of months. Right.
That's very good. Well put. Well, very well put. Yeah. Level up.
So, yeah, whether what what I often end up telling people is it takes like 3 years as a beginner, 5 years of lifting to become intermediate, and 5 years plus to become advanced. And we're reducing that by like leaps and bounds. Maybe now you're talking about a year, not even 6 months to 18 months. Then you're talking about 18 months to, 2.5 years. And then 2.5 years pass, you're an advanced lifter. You just hit the fast forward button,
I
so it's,
100% agree with that. Yeah, I
yeah,
think if you did this for 2.5 years, you're an advanced lifter.
yep,
I mean, yeah, for sure. I totally
yeah,
see that.
yeah. And the extra volume that you might have accumulated in the 6, 7 years before that brought you to that intermediate status, right? Think about the difference in the time. You did a bunch of really high quality reps in that time period, but you did a lot of stuff your body had to recover from that didn't move you forward. And this is the issue ultimately with with the extra volume.
Returns on time invested, guys. That's why this is ultimately superior. Hypothetically, if you could get the results in equal measure from all the other stuff, it's time in. The time you actually spend in the gym is so much more valuable here.
So much
You
more.
get so much more on your time invested.
I came across, we're talking about like where we're trying to get our guys and what, building our icons, making each guy into an icon in and of himself. And I came across, 'cause we're getting a little bit past the hour here and stuff, and we're trying to keep this to about an hour and a half. And Billy and I can go on and on and on. But I wanted to close out tonight, and we'll chat about it a little bit before we get off. But with just a short that I came across, I don't know who the guy is, never heard him before, don't care. Presented just a little concept that it's just a metaphor, but I want everybody to hear it because I just felt it was so poignant. So Primo Minister Justin Trendo has it loaded up for us, and let's give her a rip. Let me know what you think after, Bill. This one hit me hard. I loved it.
Have you ever heard the metaphor of the buffalo and the cows?
No, please share.
Buffalo and cows, they can both sense when a storm is coming. Big, terrible rainstorm's coming. They both sense it. And cows, they take off running away. Buffalo, they sense the storm and they run right at it. They run right into the storm. And I compare that to trauma. We're just creating a generation of cows where we're making it okay for us. We just let them run away from it and not deal with it. And the cool thing is cows, as they're running away from the storm, they get tired. The storm catches up with the cows and the cows keep running. They don't stop. If they stop, let the storm pass. No, they just run with
stay in the storm.
So they're in this misery and shame and guilt. They're in this way longer than they have to be. The buffalo, they run into the storm and it's terrifying. Once you get past that first initial scare, that fear, and you get in the storm and then the storm passes, then they're happy and they're rested, and then they can enjoy what the storm gave them, the water and the grass and all that stuff.
Yeah,
How much
man.
of a metaphor? How good of a metaphor is that for not only HIIT, but for the journey that all our guys go through, right? Our guys show up as buffaloes, but you're baby buffaloes. You know what I mean? You got the right attitude, but you're not on the right track. So, and then I loved it for like what happens when you start HIIT as well. What we're talking about today, right? Like, you've been running away from the storm. The storm is the pain. The storm is that failure. The storm is the intensity, right? And maybe you didn't know, the cows don't know what the buffaloes do, and, so maybe you were running away from that storm without even knowing, right? And you're not able to reap the rewards after you pass through it, right? So I just loved it.
Yeah, that was great. I can definitely dig it. There's a lot to unpack from such a short little fable or metaphor or whatever you'd want to call that. Forgive my stupid
Parable,
but,
if you will. Yeah.
parable, yeah. It's a big deal to be part of the right herd. You know, you want to be part of the right herd because there's definitely herd mentality, you know, and we can relate it to lifting and training and our avenues. But if you're surrounded by all these people doing the same stuff without merit, intellectually speaking, you're going to follow them and you're all just going to stay in the darkness. You're all just going to stay in that storm, wearing yourselves out, uh, hoping that it'll just end and you'll get what you want, right? But you're running the wrong direction. You're running with the storm. You're never going to get out of it. You just stay there. It's very interesting. Or it could be like the bison. Who knows? If he runs toward it, he's going to spend the least amount of time in it.
That's it. That's it. And it's going to be, like the guy said, it's terrifying. When you're coming up to failure and you're feeling that pain, scary.
Oh, man.
Or when you put that weight on that bar that you know you have to move 6 to 10 times, and it puts that little fear in your chest, right? That's what you're going for. That's what you need to fall in love with, right?
Every
so guys
time,
every
time I
guys,
get ready to do my set, and I'm scared. I
mhm.
look at my training partner without fail every time. Like, oh my God, I'm scared. Like, I have to beat last week. Last week was hell. Last week was terrifying. I have to beat it right now. Like,
So it's a new
every
storm
time.
every time. Every time it's a new storm. That's it. And
But we run
like
right
I said,
into it.
yeah, boy.
We know we run right into it. I don't drop back and say, well, I'm going to just do 3 sets at 80%.
That's right.
I'm going to do 3 sets at 80%, and I'm going to use volume as my mechanism for the adaptive response. Imagine that.
You're running away from the storm, man. You don't even know you're a cow. You know.
You're a cow.
Yeah. We got baby buffaloes, man. Our icons are baby buffaloes, bro. They're running at the storm, but they don't know what it's gonna feel like. They're running into it for the first time, you know. And the grass is nice. It's greener on the other side, boys. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I think that's a great note to close out on, Bill. What do you think?
Good as any, man. If we opened up anything else, we'll be here another hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say so. Guys. All our links are posted. They're all hopefully in the chat and everything. You could donate. We got to start shilling a little harder and stuff like that. But come find us, guys. Come find us on Telegram. Come find our Odyssey Follow Physique Friday. We had a new episode, a hilarious one with amazing contributions once again from Jim Hopper, Big Jim, the animal, the savage, the icon. You know,
We had fun.
yeah, man, we had a good time last episode. So everybody check that out. And come find us, man. Come find us in our chats. Come hang out. Come talk. You know, come throw on that buffalo skin. You know,
Yeah,
and
bro, be part of the herd.
hell
Join the
yes,
family.
that
Good guys,
collectivity.
man.
That
Like
BDC.
great guys.
You know,
BBC. So yeah, man. Look, at as far as shilling goes, guys. If you enjoy this, you guys who are watching or listening to rather the replay on Odyssey, if you're not watching us live, if you are watching us live, which not many are, just share this around. You know, if you enjoy it and you find that it's different and it's nourishing to your mind, and you're having a good time with us, pass it around, man. Pass it around to someone who you think it would benefit.
Yeah, please do, man. Please do. Post it everywhere, you guys. Snatch up the link. Takes 2 seconds. Snatch up the links for us and post them to anywhere. Like poll, you know, if they got like /fit/ or whatever they got over there. I don't know. I don't go on there. But you guys all know that
Throw it
stuff.
on Reddit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
throw it on
some of you
Reddit.
guys are on Reddit.
Yeah. Throw it on Reddit for us. Throw it everywhere. Like everywhere you go. Everywhere the go. Throw it on. What are those?
Democratic National Convention.
Yeah,
page.
dude. Kiwi Farms. Go toss it on Kiwi Farms. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're happy to bring over those people. You know, go on Cozy TV in the chat and drop it in there for those fools. You know, we love them, right? We can help people, right? Stop being that way, whatever way that is. So, yeah, we need you guys so badly, bro. We need you guys. We need to get the word out, you know, like, so. Anyways, I digress, but we love you, fam. We're all gonna make it, bros.
Eat your carbs if you want to get big.
That's it. Like Tom Haviland. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you guys next Sunday, and look forward to that Physique Friday dropping next Friday as well. God bless you all.
God bless you, boys and girl.
In order to train as hard as possible, you must retain a clear image of your purpose. Once your goal is sharply but realistically defined, all that remains is carrying out your plan. Don't, however, worry about your individual potential. Potential is only the expression of a possibility, something that can be assessed accurately only in retrospect. In other words, you'll never know how good you might have become unless you try. So let's get with it.